Hey y'all, how's everybody doing? Well, this will be a short little video because I am on my way to my dad's house from work, and I just got off the highway. I didn't want to talk to y'all while I was on the highway, but these little back roads, I am actually still doing 10 and 2 and not looking at y'all very much, but I thought I'd call you and just talk to y'all a minute. Call y'all. I'm calling y'all and talk to you about something that's been on my mind, and I often feel like if something's on my mind, it might be on y'all's too. So here's the subject matter: change. How do we deal with change? It's a big question because it can be anything from employment to relationships to opinions. Like maybe you change your mind about something that you may have had a different opinion of before, to your health status, to sorry, I'm right in the sun. It can be so many things, and I'm specifically talking about life's bigger changes, like maybe your child gets pregnant, or you get a new job, or you lose a job, or it's time to move and you got a ton of stuff that you're going to have to deal with when you move. Or you get a health report. I know a number of you guys that I talk to. I'm so Southern, but then I talk Northern. I say you guys, y'all. I have to say y'all. I believe in y'all, not you guys. I'm just kidding. For some of you that may be Northern, I hope you appreciate that side. But anyway, y'all or you guys. But sometimes we get information on our health, especially if we're aging. Some of you who watch my channel videos may be very, very young, and so you may not get tough information about your health, or you might. There's children who get cancer and diseases, or maybe your parents have gone through a divorce and that affects you. Certainly it does. So there's still always things in life that may cause change, specifically bigger changes, and also change that maybe you can't do anything about. It's one thing to feel like that you can have an impact on the changes in your life. It's a whole nother thing not to be able to. And what usually comes with that is a certain, I'm trying to think of the right word, an unsettling. Not necessarily downright fear. Sometimes it is downright fear. Sometimes it is panic. Sometimes it is pain, upset. You know, if it's associated with divorce, certainly there's pain involved. Sometimes there's panic if you're told you have cancer, or I know a couple of you have shared openly, even on the channel comments, that you've had cancer or have cancer or some other serious illness. Some of them may be mental illness. We don't discount mental illness. It certainly has an impact. Maybe depression or anxiety attacks, or some kind of disorder that they don't really know why you're going through what you're going through. And it just has absolutely made a change in your life you just didn't see coming. And you don't like it. And you wish it wasn't there. And you wish you could be the way you were before, or even better than the way you were before. Not having to deal with the issues that you're dealing with. If you deal with the death of someone, who wants to deal with that? That's a huge change. When my mother died, it was a huge change. My dad's being 91 years old. He doesn't have cancer. He doesn't have diabetes. He's got a lot of other ailments. I wouldn't even call them little ailments, because they're ailments. And it still has made a change in my life and a change in his life. Sorry, I'm going to get my ID off. And I'm now in a little neighborhood where I can slow down. So that's what I want to talk about. Here is the, as my boss would say, the shucked down version. Like you shuck corn and get down to the bottom of it. And we can talk at length if you want. Comment below and say, I'd really wish you would talk about change more, or whatever you want to discuss, because I'm always open to do that. When change happens, I think the reason that I, or maybe you or others, and consider others in your life, not just yourself, may not deal with it well. And the reason is we want to go back to the garden. In our heart, we want to go back to the garden. And I think that's why God has such a sympathy and an empathy and a compassion for us, is He knows how great the garden was. He knows that it was a comfortable, wonderful, comforting, beautiful, inspirational place, and it got messed up by sin and all the effects of sin. He knows that. He knows that better than you know that, better than I know that. He knows how great it was, and then it got blown. And that just stunk. It stunk for Him too. The good news is He had a plan for that change. Can I encourage you today? He still does. We can't place our faith in ourselves. The world will teach you to. Don't listen to the world. That's not a good piece of advice. Because you'll fail. We can't put our faith in our jobs, because companies come and go. Even if they stay, they can't always promise good company health. They can't promise that. Because they don't know tomorrow. But God does. We can't place our faith even in the church. While the church is supposed to be helpful, it's supposed to be comforting, it's supposed to wrap its arms around you when you're going through tough times, the church is people, and people fail. People mess up, people fail to show up, people become undependable, people gossip, people hurt each other, and sometimes the church will fail you. Sometimes they beautifully don't. Sometimes they come through, and it's a wonderful thing. I know in my life group at my church, that's why I would highly encourage y'all to get involved in one. Just find out, how can we start a Bible study at your own house, and give them a little coffee and a cake and say, just come over and let's start reading the book of John and get to know some people. Because it does certainly help when you do have Christians who help each other out. And that is the body of Christ when it's working like it should. That is what should happen. We shouldn't place our faith in our government. I still think we're in the best country in the world. I don't care if it's Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, or whoever's going to come next. My faith is certainly not in a politician of any kind. The old-fashioned kind that have an amazing gift with speech so that they always sound wonderful, or one that may do some good stuff, but his mouth is just not wonderful on the things he says, or the things she says, or whoever is going to be the leader of this nation. I will pray for them, but I will not place my faith in them. I know y'all know what's coming. We place our faith in the one who's earned it. You see, God knows your gifts. God knows your resources. God knows your abilities. God knows your disabilities. God knows your pain. God knows your joy. God knows what will help you become a better person. Sometimes that will be painful. Sometimes it will be joyful. God knows. He knows. And that is why we can place our trust in Him. Okay, why else? Because our God is the only God who's proven Himself by raising from the dead. He's proven Himself not just by miracles, because there's sorcerers that can do some magic we see in the Bible, and they tried to match miracles, and because of supernatural power that they probably were sourcing from demons who are angels who have fallen and have a certain amount of supernatural power, and for whatever reason God has not stripped them of that nor destroyed them yet. And so there you may see some of that, but God is always way above that. He can do way more than just a little miracle. Matter of fact, all the miracles that Jesus did, people still said, now, are you really the Messiah? All the miracles and healings and incredible things like feeding 5,000 people and then 4,000 more for a couple of pieces of bread and some fish. And then they took baskets up and there was an overage. And people still said, now, are we sure who this guy is? They asked him, the Pharisees asked him all kinds of question after question after question after question about prophecies and the scriptures and what they had to say about every subject. And he was able to answer all of it. And they still said, now, who do you say you are? And he says, I've been telling you all along. I'm God. That's who. And I've been telling you who. Even with all the miracles and all the proofs, people still may not listen to Christ. I know sometimes I don't, and I totally believe in him and place my full faith and trust in him. And yet sometimes I know there's things that if he was sitting right here in person in the flesh and said, Beth, now you shouldn't charge that credit card because it's going to enslave you. You got to have another piece of makeup or another handbag, and that's all fun and good until you've got a continual lust for more of things, and your focus is on the lust of things of this world, and you place your faith there, your interest even there, and you're going to make a mistake. And do you know I have? I bet you have too. I'm just being real. I'm being real on a YouTube channel that does beauty and fashion. But I'm still telling you there's something more important. Placing your trust in God is the answer so that when those changes come, and they always do, you will not be moved. Will it be a little unsettling? Yes. But will you go into catastrophic fear? No. You place your trust in God and say, you know what, Lord, I'm going through a change in this marriage. And it's very painful, but I know you're going to get me through. Lord, I know that I've got this new job, or maybe I lost my job, or maybe I found out I'm sick, and I'm not crazy about this, but I know you're going to get me through. I trust you, and my faith is not in me or anything else. It's in you. And y'all, if we don't live that way, he will put us in a position where we have to live that way because it's the only way to live. We must live in faith. It is the only thing that pleases God, and it is the only thing that will help us, because this world is passing away. This world is sinful, and we're going to get a sin-free world and a new world, and we won't ever have to worry about anything again, but we're not there yet. Okay, so when changes come, seek the Lord just like you always do, and trust him that he knows about your life, and he's going to work it out for his plan, which is for your good and my good. I hope that helps y'all. Love you. Bye.